I just wanted to take a moment to review the Module 3 case study for you guys to give you some extra tips and tricks and ideas of what you need to do this week to be successful in this assignment. So, using your content from your textbooks, your presentations from this week's module, and the evidence-based articles that you will find, please answer the following critical thinking questions. So these questions can be answered by typing the question and then typing the response. Just make sure that when you type the responses that you use full sentences in paragraph form. Now remember, for a top grade, you must include proper APA in-text citations and references to support your answers and your thinking for each question. So this case study will be completed individually, and you're going to read the case study on Jane. And once you finish reading the case study, you're going to answer the questions that are listed below. So it's a total of 3 questions. You'll see that there's a good bit of information in each of those questions. So there's more than one thing you're going to answer in each one. So in the first one, you're going to list 3 of the 9 areas of occupation you think Jane may have difficulty with, and you're going to need to refer to your OT practice framework for that. Then you want to tell me what functional deficits in each occupation do you expect Jane to have? And in answering that question, you'll use the client factors and performance skills language to tell me what those functional deficits are. So again, you'll need to refer to your OT practice framework for that information. Your client factors will begin on page 43 of the OT practice framework, and the performance skills starts on page 51. You can also use your Thomas Occupation-Based Activity Analysis book. You need to make sure that you are citing that evidence as far as if you use the OT Practice Framework or the Thomas textbook. Then for the second question, you're going to be looking at the Adverse Childhood Events article. So chances are you're probably going to use that as part of your reference or in-text citation in the answer to this question. And you're going to name 3 functional deficits from question 1. And then you're going to tell me for each of those 3 deficits that you've just named, can you determine which ones are the result of her early life experiences and which are the result of her substance use? And then you're going to explain your answer. You're going to need to use evidence to support your reasoning. So this should not be the statement of your opinion. This information should be backed up by evidence. Then the third question, you're going to log onto your AOTA account and navigate to the AJOT, or the American Journal of OT, search tab. And you're going to search the term substance use disorder. From the results, you're going to select an article. You need to make sure the article you select is not about assessments or tests. And then you're going to answer the 3 questions A, B, C. So what is the article examining, or what is the question they're asking? And in this section, you want to include the results of the study. Then question B, or letter B, how do they attempt to find the answer? And then letter C, what impact might this article have on your future practice with people with substance use disorders? So when you're answering the third of these questions, question C, you want to make sure that you include details and information from your chosen article in your response regarding how you can use the research from that article in your future practice. One more thing I want to point out is that the article needs to be published within the last 10 years, and just make sure that it's in your references list at the end of your paper or your submission for the case study. Then just why do we want to do this assignment? Why is this important? So as a future OTA, it's important you're able to recognize areas of occupation that may be a problem based on an individual's symptoms and diagnosis. It's also important that you're able to think critically and recognize functional deficits, and that you're able to utilize the appropriate literature to find evidence-based treatments for your future clients. It's also super important that you're aware of the OT practice framework language, and the more you use that, the easier that will become for you. I also want to point out that you should Always, for all of your assignments, review your rubric once you've finished your assignment to make sure that everything in the rubric has been covered in your submission. It's very specific as to what we will be looking for when we're doing the grading. Tells you how many points it's worth, all of that. So just make sure you're paying attention to that as well when you're doing the assignment. If you have any questions as you're working on this, please feel free to let me know. I'm here to help.